Today at Commander Replay, we check out 2 more games with Rafiq of the many, Voltron Sucks. Can our Voltron deck overcome our high-powered opponents? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in Wesley Kelly. Wesley, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And be sure to use the TCG affiliate player link as it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some more Rafiq of the many, Voltron Sucks today. Take a look at this opening hand. We've got a Mana Crypt. We've got... Yeah, okay, I like this stuff. So, in today's game, there's no Patreon supporters in the game. This is a pickup game for Magic Online. One opponent did say, full disclosure, they're playing Maelstrom Wanderer, so there's a Maelstrom Wanderer opponent. I'm curious to see how our deck holds up against a Maelstrom Wanderer, so that's what we're going to try and find out today. I can tell you that we are vastly more mana efficient than Maelstrom Wanderer. Maelstrom Wanderer, generally a very big ramp deck, so, you know, they spend 5-6 turns just ramping typically. After that, they're pretty much a headache to stop, and it becomes super, super difficult. But if we can get to them before that, I like our chances. Now, the way this deck is built right now, it is more of a near CEDH kind of deck. So that means we're made to go low and fast. We're not going to be great in the late game against like Prime Speaker Zagana or Maelstrom Wanderer if they just have big things on board. So anyway, with all that, that brings it to our turn 1. Let's lay down the Temple Garden, play the Mana Crypt. Let's get this Serra Ascendant. And then we'll pass the turn like that. Next turn will be on the Smothering Tithe, and that seems like it should be pretty good. And shortly after that, we should be able to follow it up with the God Pharaoh statue. So just lands for opponents on their first turn, and that's good news for us. Brings it back to our turn. There's the Mana Crypt flip. Go Tails. Lost the flip. We draw Forest, play the Hinterland Harbor. Comes in untapped because of the Temple Garden. We'll play the Smothering Tithe. Turn 2 Smothering Tithe seems pretty good. Let's take a swing into the old Prime Speaker Zagana. And we'll pass the turn like that. Smothering Tithe trigger on our opponent. They have only 1 land, so don't expect that they'll be paying. Here's a Burgeoning for opponent. Smothering Tithe trigger. We get another token. So I think now the plan is Mystical Tutor for a wheel. Opponent gets a land off the Burgeoning from opponent's land. Part of me wants to go like God Pharaoh statue first, because that's another one of our lockout pieces in this deck. And it's a nasty one, especially this early in the game. So I might just do that. So brings it back to our turn. I know that we could go Mystical Tutor into wheel right here, but I'm going to go for the God Pharaohs first. Brings back to our turn. We lose the Mana Crypt flip. There's a Sun Petal Grove. Let's go ahead and play the Sun Petal Grove. Burgeoning will trigger. Play the God Pharaoh statue. Attack into the Maelstrom Wanderer opponent. And God Pharaohs will trigger at the end step. Each opponent loses 1 life. More Smothering Tithe treasures. Here comes Yidris Maelstrom Wielder. Yeah. Now, Yidris usually runs a lot of wheels, which, if our Smothering Tithe sticks, which so far it has, that could be good for us. Could be good for us. How does God Pharaoh statue work with Cascade? You cast it. I think they need to pay the 2 extra. I think God Pharaoh's hoses Yidris. Opponent's going to pay for the Smothering Tithe. So, on our upkeep, we're going to fire off this Mystical Tutor. Going to go for the Windfall. Mana Crypt flip. Go Tails. Lost the flip. There's the Windfall. Let's play the Strip Mine. Play the Windfall. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. That goes into a Time Twister. Oh my. That's some pretty serious business right there. We get 21 Smothering Tithe triggers. Opponent had a 1,000-year Storm in hand. Glad that's gone. Some nastiness from the Simic opponent. Oracle, Veldakin Orrery, and Seedborn Muse. Yeah. And what kind of nastiness we got over there? We got a Sakashima's, Kiora's, Selvalas, Copy Enchantment, Genesis Wave. Yep. Things you may expect. And opponent just scoops. 1 down. So we will cast ourselves a Rafiq. Other opponent scoops. Cast this Finest Hour. Guess we'll also cast the Bloom Tender. Haven't decided if, like, the Moxes are really where I want to be in this deck yet. Send in the Serra Ascendant. Rafiq will trigger. Finest Hour will trigger. 2 Exalted triggers. And we get an additional combat. Send in the Serra Ascendant. Oh, is opponent going to survive at 2? I think they're going to survive at 1 with the God Pharaoh statue. Yeah, there's 10 Double Strike coming in. Opponent's down to 2. Yep, going to survive at 1 with the God Pharaohs. We could Time Twister, but I don't think we need to do that right here, so... Smothering Tithe trigger for our opponent. So opponent scoops are right there. Said we might do a rematch. We'll see what happens. Opponent had Expropriate in hand. That's a nasty one. Crush of Tentacles. Welcome back, everyone. Game 2 with Rafiq of the Many. Voltron sucks. We got a rematch from our last opponent. They're still playing Yidris. We've got Epsilon piloting Yorvo, Lord of Garenbrig. And we've got another pickup opponent playing Ghalta, Primal Hunger. What do we have here? We've got 4 lands. Nothing crazy in the opener, but it seems fine, so we'll keep. We've got mana, we've got some protection, we've got a little bit of removal, so you can't complain about all that. Wouldn't mind seeing a Rhystic Study somewhere along the way, but maybe that's too much to ask. Turn 1, Soul Ring for the Ghalta. Seems like a good start. Brings it to our turn 1. We draw into some Swiftfoot Boots. Let's go ahead, play the Hollowed Fountain untapped. Get a Mother of Ruins. So again, same thing holds true from the last time. This deck is kind of geared for more of a near CEDH, fast combo kind of setting. Don't know how well we're going to hold up against Ghalta. Big Things is just not what this deck is tuned for at the moment. So ideally, we want to take them out nice and quick and not let them get into the late game, because late game will be bad. Opponent's going to fire off Explosive Vegetation. Yep, getting that ramp going. Could use a big draw ourselves. We draw a Sword of Fire and Ice. It's okay. It's okay. Let's go ahead play the, I guess, the Hinterland Harbor. Get some Swiftfoot Boots. And we'll pass turn. Sword of Fire and Ice is card draw. That's a thing that I'm liking. Also protection from, like, Yidris, which is cool. Simic Signet for the Yidris, yeah. That's a Court of Calling X3. This should be interesting. Ooh, Selvala. High likelihood I shoot the Selvala. There's a Stoneforge Mystic for us. That's a nice one. Let's go ahead and play the Darkar Wastes. Let's get the Stoneforge Mystic. We've got Fire and Ice. Selvala trigger, nothing doing there. Our choices are Hammer of Nazan, Conqueror's Flail. Probably don't need the Conquerors. Not really counterspell type opponents. Hammer of Nazan is certainly okay. Feast and Famine. I mean, it's just got to be Feast and Famine. And we're going to shoot the Selvala before anyone untaps. Opponent's probably going to cast Yidris. We'll see. We'll wait and see. See if anyone else wants to shoot the Selvala. I doubt it's going to happen, but don't actually need to commit to it until anything's on the stack. Yep, there it comes. So shoot the Selvala. Opponent gets a land. Yidris into play. Here comes Champion of Lamholt for opponent. That's a pretty good one. That's a great place to use a Sword of Fire and Ice trigger. Oh, here comes a Terastodon. Well, this is going to be rough. See how they go about doing this. Wow, 2 of our lands. Oh, that is awful. So we get ourselves some elephants. We are down to 1 land. That is rough. I hate Terastodon. I really, really hate Terastodon. We draw a Cyclonic Rift, play a land. So I think we're going to be looking at some sort of like end step Feast and Famine, get Feast and Famine in, put it on something, hit something, that sort of stuff. I'm going to send the Yidris into the Yorvo. Yep. So Yidris hits, gets the Cascade trigger. See what they got going. Here's a Signet. Signet will Cascade into Collective Voyage. Oh, that's interesting. Opponent's going to X1 on the Joined Forces. We can get our lands back. It seems like a good idea for us. So we're going to pay into the Joined Forces, get ourselves 2 more lands. Now, every opponent will get lands, but after the Terastodon, we're the farthest behind, so, you know, this will bring us more in line with other opponents. Or at least get us over the threshold of what we need to just, like, cast our own stuff. So there's that. We've got a Cyclonic Rift, so the sooner we get to 7, the sooner we can kind of reset everything. Although, rifting a Terastodon, not always the best. So let's get some lands. Make sure we got all 3 colors. Not a lot of basics in this deck. Here comes a Wood Elves for opponent, sure. It's going to trigger the Champion of Lamholt. Yep, get that going. Kodama's Reach for opponent, yep. So opponent getting themselves some ramp going as well. Mana Vault for opponent. That's a Zendikar Resurgent. That's bad news. There's a Surrak, even better. And there's a Hydra. That one has Trample. That's the thing to watch out for. Mana Crypt for opponent. Yep, just getting all the stuff. Gotta love mono green. There's a Reclamation Sage. This is probably going to hit one of our things. Yep, opponent going to hit our boots. Oh, man. And here comes Ghalta. Awesome. Man, it's turn 5. They had, what, turn 1 Soul Ring, I think? It was turn 1 Crypt or Soul Ring, I can't remember. Yeah, that'll do it. And Surok's gonna give something haste. Cool. Yep. Haste on the Ghalta. Ghalta in our way, of course. Terastodon at the other green player. We'll block with an elephant. Give the elephant protection from green. Oh, that's a Narset. Narset's interesting. We can't really protect Narset from all the big things on board, can we? No, not so much. Alright, well, get ourselves a Sword of Feast and Famine. Not using the Stoneforge Mystic right here, because I'll probably try to use it later on. So, Sword onto the elephant. Swing at opponent. So, opponent's going to take a Feast and Famine hit. They lose a Basalt Monolith. Our land's on tap. Don't know exactly what to do right here. What is Rafiq with 2 swords? Well, I guess it would be Rafiq plus 1 sword. Rafiq with a Feast and Famine is a 10-10. Yeah, I think we just got to play Rafiq. Hope that someone interacts with the green player somehow. If nothing else, at least kill the Zendikar Resurgent. Yidris back into the Yorvo opponent. Yidris gets a Cascade trigger. Only 1 card on opponent's hand. Opponent's going to Beast Within the Zendikar Resurgent. That gives us a chance. So that's like the very minimum that needed to happen. Opponent's going to hit a Wishclaw Talisman. What does this do? Enters battlefield with 3 wish counters on it. Search your library for a card, put it in your hand, shuffle your library, and opponent gains control of it. Activate it only during your turn. Opponent's going to activate it. They give it to the Yorvo opponent. Board wipe? Crush of Tentacles. That works. That works. It does mean Terastodon's going to get recast, though. Non-land permanents, huh? Ooh. Disrupt Decorum. Well, I guess that's not going to... Yeah, that's not going to do much if everything gets bounced. So, all of our stuff gets bounced. Not amazing. Would have preferred just a full board wipe there. Comes Champion Lambholt back to play. Wood Elves back to play. Yorvo into play. What does this one actually do? Enters battlefield with 4 counters on it. Whenever another green creature enters battlefield under your control, put a counter on it. Then if that creature's power is greater than Yorvo, put another counter on it. Okay, so it just gets really big. Let me guess, Terastodon blow up more lands? Here comes Mana Crypt. Soul Ring. Mana Vault. Yep, there's Terastodon. We're losing another land. Cool. There's Surok. How is there a 4-mana green creature that gives haste and there isn't a Boros one? That's what I want to know. So, like, why doesn't Aurelia Exemplar of Justice give haste? And there's Ghalta, of course. Yep, opponent just gonna come in and try to kill us. If we block with the token... If we don't block with the token, we die, so we have to block with the token. So we're at 18, Commander. Cool. There's a Mental Misstep. Where was that when we needed it? Let's shut down some of these mana rocks. I don't know. I'll just play the Narset, see what happens. Narset equals life gain. Take a look. Wow, 4 lands. Oh, man. Opponent going to replay the Talisman. Yep. Opponent can activate the Wishclaw. Gives it to us. Plays a Blasphemous Act. Well, maybe it's not just over. There's a Vigor. Ooh. Ooh. And there's a Great Henge. Cool. Mana Crypt, Mana Vault triggers for the green player. Here, opponent's going to Reclamation Sage. Again. Oh, my God. They might have to go over to the Great Henge, though. I don't know if going for the Wishclaw. No, they're going to go for the Wishclaw. All right. There's a Kodama's Reach. There's a Rampant Growth. And there's a Hydra. There's an Avacyn's Pilgrim. That's actually not the worst thing I've seen. Let's take a look with Narset. You could use a Mana Rock. There's a Smothering Tithe. That's a real card. Yeah, get the Smothering Tithe. Play the Smothering Tithe. Just wish we had a way to get this Pilgrim into play, but we do not. Discard the Mental Misstep. We get a treasure token. Karavak into play. Oh, that's such a nasty card. That could kill us. Smothering Tithe trigger. Opponent probably has to attack Narset right here to get rid of it and then try to draw cards with Great Henge. Ronas Monument. Karavak will trigger. Gonna shoot the Vigor. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Here comes Yorvo. Karavak will trigger. Gonna take down the Vigor. Here comes a Mowu. Ronas trigger, Karavek trigger. Gonna shoot the Hydra, all about that. Yorvo getting bigger, yup. It's got some Ronas Monument triggers on it. Comes in a Chroma's Memorial for opponent, seems bad. See where they want to send the 7. Send it to the face of the green player. Opponent gonna play a Hydra. Gonna shoot the Mowu. Opponent's gonna play Solidarity of Heroes. Doubles the number of counters on a creature. That'll also trigger the Karavek. Oh man, it's been a while since I played against Karavek. Karavek gets crazy. Gonna shoot the other green creature. So I think this Karavek should get the other player focused down pretty hard. And that should take some heat off of us, because we have taken a lot of spot removal this game. Yeah, there's the Hydra going into the Karavek. And opponent's going to send Reclamation Sage into our Narset. Probably just going to let the Narset go right here. I don't think that's worth the Rift. So Narset goes down. Here comes Ghalta. There's a Karavek trigger. Let's see where opponent points this. Sends it to the face of the Ghalta. Nice Karavek. Oh my. Why didn't they play the Ghalta before? That's a Rest in Peace. That's a pretty good card. 7. We have exactly 7 mana. How much mana do I think we can get back on the opponent trying to go wild with Great Henge? Start with Rafiq. There's a Karavek trigger. Gonna shoot the Mowu. Yeah, I actually don't know if it makes sense to play creatures on the board right now. It's a thing that I didn't think about. I think we're just going to pass like that and try to get some mana for Cyclonic Rift. So we're up to 4. Whoa, that's a Sire of Stagnation. That's a really serious card. Importantly, if opponent plays a land, which I hope they do, then we'll get some Smothering Tithe tokens, and we can Cyclonic Rift things. So we're up to 5 mana with the treasure tokens. We need 2 more to overload the Cyclonic Rift. Ooh, that's a Ghalta for the Yorvo opponent. They could hit us in the face really hard right here. Nope, just gonna shoot it at the other Ghalta opponent. Yeah, alright, I'm down for that. So down they go. Great Henge and Yorvo will trigger. Smothering Tithe will trigger. Up to 6 mana, 1 to go. Opponent's gonna play a Fungal Sprouting. Opponent gets 4 damage to a target. This could be Rafiq. Yeah, that's gonna take down the Rafiq. That sucks. So Rafiq back to the command zone. Yorvo gets huge. Okay, I see why that card is played in Yorvo. That all makes sense now. It's got 23 power. Death's Presence. Whenever a creature you control dies, put an X+1/+1 counters on a creature you control, where X is the power that died. Karavek just going to start shooting the face of opponent. And opponent sending both at the Yidris, because you have to with that Karavek doing its thing. These are both Vigilant and Trample-y. Opponent's going to survive right now. We can't not overload the Cyclonic Rift if we just let that go. Opponent goes down to 5. Karavek down. There's a Mox Diamond. That's actually a card that I want. That's some mana. Mana is good. More importantly than anything else, we need to make sure we leave up Cyclonic Rift mana. Let's get the Avacyn's Pilgrim. Get Mox Diamond. Oh. Forgot to... Whoops. Why didn't that do the thing? Oh, we don't have any lands. You need to discard a land. Whoops. Well, Mox Diamond down. I forgot that one works differently than the other one. I'm going to get a Mother of Ruins right here. And we're going to pass the turn and sit on this Cyclonic Rift. Here comes Yidris into play. And there's a Blackblade Reforged. Opponent's going to play a Pier. Great Henge will trigger. Smothering Tithe will trigger. Oh, that's an Ulamog. Oh, that's a serious card. That is a very serious card. Can exile both of opponent's creatures. Opponent's sending everything. Told him we have a Rift, but, you know, here we go. Rift time. Opponent's going to have to discard to hand size. That's a Steel of the Godhead. That's some important life gain if the game goes long enough for us to need that, but more importantly, we should probably be thinking about Sword of Feast and Famine. Let's put the sword on the Avacyn's Pilgrim. So, opponent gets hit, our land's on tap. Part of me is thinking we probably need to get that Rest in Peace. Rafiq is going to be 6. Oh, that's so much. Got 7 mana currently. Yeah, I'm thinking let's go Stoneforge Mystic. Thinking Fleet Feather Sandals seems actually pretty good. So grab Fleet Feather Sandals. Let's get this Rest in Peace into play. Exile those graveyards. Let's get the Fleet Feather Sandals. And we'll pass the turn like that. And opponent just scoops it. Nice. That does impact our treasure token count, though. It's not great. Here comes Ulamog. Yep, see what they want to exile. This one does not protect from colorless. Gonna go Mother of Ruins and Feast and Famine. Those are good choices. Brings back to our turn. There's a Lazotep plating. Where was that? Play Rafiq. Sandals on Rafiq. Double Strike and Exalted. Opponent down to 12. Yeah, we have him next turn. All we have to do is make sure Rafiq and Boots survive and that we survive. There's a treasure token. There's Ronas Monument. Oh, the Trample could be a thing. The Trample could very much be a thing. Here comes the Great Henge. Oh, that's a God Eternal Ronas. It's going to double its power. Oh, that's the one. That's the one I don't think we can stop. Great Henge will trigger. We get some mana. Anything we can do. Don't think so. Another Smothering Tithe. We need something. It's going to be 28. Opponent's got us. The Trample. So, I mean, considering nothing went right at all, we got like 3 lands popped by Terastodon starting on like turn 4, and yet we were almost able to climb back into it, and a lot of that had to do with us just not being a threat at all, like whatsoever, and opponents having to deal with other things at the table. And I don't know. First loss with this deck, none of it had to do with the fact that it was Voltron. It just had to do with like our lands got blown up and we were on the wrong side of removal and bounce and everything just at the wrong possible time. We didn't really draw cards. We didn't really ramp. We did a lot of nothing really. So all that considered, almost able to pull it off. I threw the towel in kind of in the middle of the game, honestly. If I held my head high, that may have played differently. I don't know. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.